What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with some more of The Police. And we're working our way toward the latter stages of Synchronicity, 1983. Again, shout out to Stefan and to Lori. And the next track is Tea in the Sahara, which is very specific. I suppose there's a bit of a contrast. A cup of tea is a relaxing but also invigorating enjoyment, and a Sahara Desert is a massive and completely... Yes. It is a environment that is devoid of refreshment or invigoration. It is a challenge to endure its conditions and characteristics. So there's a bit of a contrast, there's a bit of an opposition to the two parts of the title. I suppose it might relate to a scene, someone having a cup of tea in the Sahara, but of course it could be a metaphor, it could be more nuanced than that, so I'll just try to catch what I can. I apologize, my intro has been complicated by Luca's silly presence, but yes, this is The Police. The track is Tea in the Sahara, and it's from the 1983 album Synchronicity.
Have one wish before we die, and it may sound strange, as if our minds are deranged. Please don't ask us why. Beneath the sheltering sky, we have a strange obsession. You have the means in your possession. Tea in the Sahara with you. The Sahara with you. The young man agreed he would satisfy their need, so they danced for his pleasure with a joy you could not measure. They'd wait for him here, the same place every year, beneath the sheltering sky. Across the desert he would fly. Tea in the Sahara with you. 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 Turned to black. Would he ever come back? They would climb a high dune, they would pray to the moon, but he'd never return. So the sisters would burn as their eyes searched the land, with their cups still full of sand. Tea in the Sahara with you. Tea in the Sahara with you. Tea in the Sahara with you. Tea in the Sahara with you.
Well, that is a remarkably atmospheric track. Somewhere at the intersection of dub, down-tempo, ambient, there's a bit of a spacey feel because there's some sounds that sort of echo and they're almost arrhythmic off in the distance, sounding a bit alien. So yeah, sonically a very engrossing tune, but one that is relatively simple, meaning it's not percussively driven, it's not energetic and fast-paced, it doesn't have a lot of different moving parts, but very immersive, and again, it feels a bit like dub reggae meets ambient meets down-tempo space music. Like, it really just had an interesting arrangement or configuration. Lyrically, I'm not sure what's happening. I mean, at first, it felt like it really is just saying, like, oh, I know this is a bit weird, and me and my sisters are into this, and more on the sisters in a minute, because, again, at the beginning I thought it was more literal, then I thought it was more figurative, but yeah, don't hold this against us, but we just kind of have this weird thing. We want to have tea in the Sahara with you. So I'm thinking, on some level, maybe it is literal, but then we're talking about, like, the cups of sand, and what was it, the sheltered sky, or the sheltered of the sky, and I'm thinking maybe we're talking about, like, fate, or sort of the totality of the universe relative to, like, a simple moment, but then it's like the sky turns black, and he's talking about these guys that are dancing for someone. So I think there's a lot of figurative meaning and maybe overt metaphor here, but after the first few moments, I sort of lost my confidence in terms of thinking I knew what was happening. I did wonder if the sisters were maybe like fate, maybe not for everyone, but for people specifically, and maybe something about cups of sand being the, like, things impermanence. You're having tea, but then it turns to sand, and sand itself being the broken down little bits of larger rocks, which happens over time with pressure and so on. But I feel like I was sort of like running with those ideas in my head, and I don't really know what's happening lyrically. I will say his vocals, subdued, mellow, fitting to the atmosphere of the track, but then in a couple moments where they really flourish melodically and get a bit more rich and expressive, so I especially enjoyed those moments. She's out of here. She enjoyed tea in the Sahara of this video reaction and decided to leave. But yes, it feels like a very, if not psychedelic, certainly dreamy kind of tune, maybe lyrically and sonically. Like, the sonic atmosphere sets up these lines which, again, sound like they're setting a specific scene, but feel like they could be about larger tropes or psychological understanding. So yeah, I don't quite know what to make of it, but I found it very compelling, and it was very, again, engrossing or entrancing. Like, I felt like I was in a trance while I was listening to it. So yeah, a really interesting one, and not one, and again, I get what people are saying, that by this point it seems like Sting was trying to write more pop songs that were suited to his taste and interest, and the earlier sounds of the band with, like a reggae rock vibe and so on, they had sort of been pushed to the side, or they were less frequent. But this one it doesn't strike me as like, oh, that's obviously going to be a pop hit on the radio. It feels more like, if anything, like art rock pop or art pop rock. It feels very unusual, like the kind of tune that, isn't just going to worm its way into your head and get you, tapping your foot, but more one that will make you consider metaphors and visual landscapes and so on. So yeah, ultimately a really interesting one. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Peace.